go. So today we're going to do standard form. So we did slope-intercept. We've done point-slope. Today we're going to add standard form to that. Standard form of a linear equation. AX plus BY equals C. Rules that need to be done for this one. X and Y are on the same side of the equation. It goes X, Y equals number. That's standard form. X is first, not Y is first. X's, Y's equals number. The X term is positive. So the first term needs to be positive. And the last one, no fractions. And no decimals either as far as that goes. And they need to be integers. X's, Y's equals numbers. No fractions or decimals. X's are first and X's are positive. Okay, that's standard form. Standard form is extremely useful. It's one of the easier ways to graph, usually. Also, when we come back and work on Chapter 6, we're going to do a lot of stuff with equations in standard form. So, first set of questions. Are the equations in standard form? Yes or no? So it's the first one here. So this is in standard form. Yeah. X's, Y's, numbers, no fractions or decimals, and your X's are positive. This is a yes. Second one, negative 2x plus 4y equals negative 7. Is this in standard form? No. Why not? Because of the negative x. This is a no. Next one, going across. 5x minus 3/4 y equals negative 2. Yes or no? No. And why not? Because of the fraction. How about this one? 1/3 x plus y equals 1. No. Why not? Because of the fraction. Next one, yes or no? No. Why not? The x is on the wrong side. You need to have the x's on the right side. So this one is a no, and that's because the x is over here on that side. And what about the last one? Yes or no? Why not? X's and y's aren't on the same side. Okay. Not that hard. Not to identify. Okay. Problem number one, X and Y intercepts in standard form. This is actually fairly easy. And this is how we're going to graph. We're going to graph again a little bit later, but you want to find your X-intercept and your Y-intercept. Where does that line cross the X-axis? Where does that line cross the Y-axis? It's a two-step problem. It's really very easy. Step number one, and you'll let Y equal 0. In other words, take your finger and cover up the 4Y. What do you have when you cover up the 4y? Yeah, 3x equals 24. Get rid of the y, solve for x. That's easy. Cover up the y. And literally, I'll put your finger over the y part. What do you have that's left? 3x equals 4. Solve for x. Divide both sides by 3. X equals 8. That is your x intercept. That's where this line crosses the x-axis. Okay, to do the y-intercept, you let x equal 0. In other words, put your finger over the x term. Cover up the 3x. What do you have? 4y equals 24. Cover up the x. What do you have? 4y equals 24. Divide both sides by 4. Y equals 6. That's your y-intercept. That would be the b and slope-intercept form. That's the y-intercept. Okay. Really very easy to find the x and y-intercept. Cover up the y, solve for x. Cover up the x, solve for y. And it's solving is just dividing if there's something there to divide. Questions so far? Okay, now we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to graph. We're going to use that to graph. So, same process. I need to find the intercepts. First one, let y equal 0. If I cover up the negative 2y, what do I get? And look, I don't have to do anything to solve this. This is my x-intercept all by itself. So I go over to the x-axis and put a dot on negative 2. Somebody other than Robert, if I cover up the x, what do I get? Yeah. Negative 2y equals negative 2. Solve for y. Divide both sides by negative 2. Y equals 1. That's my y-intercept. So I go over to the y-axis, put a dot on 1. I like graphing from standard form. Cover up the x, solve for y. Cover up the y, solve for x. Take those two numbers, plot them, and then what do? You draw your line through them. Questions? Okay. Special lines. Y equals with no x. Okay. These are horizontal lines. Y equals 3. 1, 2, 3. If it's y equals, you go up to the number or up or down to that number on the y-axis, and it's a horizontal line. Because it doesn't matter what x is, what's y? Y is 3. X is 5, y is 3. X is 12, y is 3. X is negative 30, y is 3. Doesn't matter what x is, y is 3 every single time. That's what this says. Okay. When I do x equals, same idea. When y is 5, x is 3. When y is 10, x is 3. When y is negative 4, x is 3. X is 3, x is 3, x is always 3. If it's x equals, I have a vertical line through that number. Okay. You just have to remember which one's which. Now we have our last example. This is probably the most difficult, but it's really not that hard. 2 or 3 steps depending upon the problem. Step number 1. Multiply by the denominator. If you have a fraction, if you don't have a fraction, you get to skip this step. But if you have a fraction, you multiply by the denominator. You multiply everything by the denominator. So I have my equation. Y equals negative 3 over 7 plus 5. And I multiply everything. Multiply everything by my denominator. My denominator here is 7. So I do everything times 7. Everything times 7. Get rid of the denominator. That's the idea. So I have 7 times y gives me 7y equals, and this is the reason why you multiply by 7. When you multiply by 7, the denominator and the 7 above cancel out, and I get negative 3x, and I'm sorry I forgot to write the x. My bad. So I get negative 3x, and then I do 7 times 5 gives me plus 35. The most common mistake students make is not multiplying everything. Every single thing needs to get multiplied by the denominator. Because if you don't multiply everything, you're no longer equal. It has to be everything. Okay? You do that, no more denominator, no more fraction. Okay? Step 2. Move the x's. So I have to have x's and y's on the same side. Easy step, add 3x to both sides. 3x plus 7y equals 35. Now, there might be one more step. We don't have to do it here, but you might have to on yours. What needs to be true about my x's? They have to be positive. The x's have to be positive. Are my x's here positive? Yeah, so I'm good on this one, but I might have to do step 3. Multiplied by -1. If my x is negative, multiply everything times -1. In fact, just change the sign of everything. Anything positive, make it negative. Anything negative, make it positive, and you'll be good. I don't have to do that here. You might have to do that on your classwork or on the test. So. Okay? Questions? It's actually not a difficult lesson today, relatively speaking.